In this video, I'm going to go through your morning CARs, your morning controlled articular rotations, as well as your Kinstretch warm-up with our 20% irradiation as a seated modification. We'll do the whole CARs warm-up in the chair. I also use a yoga block or a pillow to assist me with our knee and our ankle portion. So grab those tools if you need them. We're going to move at a slower pace to give you the time and the space to figure out this totally new concept of training and give you the space to listen to your body and try to really figure out and get some control over that motion. And then as you get used to this stuff, you can use these modifications as you need throughout the other workout videos. We're going to begin with our neck. I'm going to have you actually put the chair against a wall or something secure to help you. That would make it a little bit easier, a little safer. Then I'm going to have you sit towards the edge of the chair. You're going to press your feet into the floor. That's going to help you as part of your irradiation. So we'll set our 20% irradiation. Remember, that's that isometric contraction through the rest of our body. And we're going to begin with our neck. So I want you to take a nice deep breath in. As you let that breath out, translate that rib cage down, pull that belly button in, pull those shoulders to the bra line, squeeze the back of your hips and thighs, straighten out your elbows, make fists, so everything else is secure. And now we're going to move our neck around that. We're going to actually start to flex our chin forward. You're really used to using the muscles and think about the muscles, but I want you to think about the deep structures. Start thinking about feeling your spine and those individual joints. When you get to that bottom position, you're going to start to rotate to the right. So that'll feel like you're tracing your chin along your chest. Try to keep those shoulders down. And then you're going to kind of rotate and rock through this right side. Think about those spinal joints, not necessarily about feeling the stretch and tightness through the muscles superficially that you're so used to thinking about. As you get through that right side, you're going to start to extend through those segments. Do not push through any pain. If you get a sharp or pinching type of pain, you're going to stop and just go the other direction to circumvent it. Extend around the back. Don't just relax your head around your upper back, okay? You want to make sure it's coming from the joints, not just those muscles. You don't want to strain anything. And we're going to rock and roll through that left side. Very deliberate. Bring it along the front. Back to the midline of our chest one more time. Rotate to the right. Shoulders down as you roll through the right side, trying to trace as big a circle through those neck joints as you can, training the joint capsules. Rock round through the back, roll in toward the left side, and around that left side toward the front. You get to the midline, pause, and we're going to turn to the left. Trace the chin along your chest to the left. Kind of side bend and roll into that around that left side. Keep those shoulders down. That's what that irradiation is for. Roll around through the back, extending through those joints. Don't just relax your head back. You want to have control. Be very deliberate. Roll through the right side. Try to feel those joint segments individually moving. Roll around to the front. And pause. Now we're going to move on to our spine. For the spine portion, we're going to anchor our feet into the floor on the back of our chair, kind of pressing the chair into the wall to help secure us. Let's take a nice deep breath in. As we let that breath out, translate that rib cage down to the floor, belly button in. So I'm nice and tall. My shoulders are stacked over my hips. I'm going to crisscross my arms in front of my body. Tighten up my arms there to help with my foundation. Now let's think about moving each segment of our spine, flexing it and bending it forward as best we can. You don't want to be moving anything else in your body. When you get to that bottom position, wherever it is, I want you to rotate those segments now towards the right side. Remember, you're intentionally trying to move the spinal joints. When you get to that end point, I want you to start to kind of side bend and rock through Again, you're not necessarily thinking about the muscles, you're thinking about your spine. As you're rocking through, now you're going to start pinching back to extend through those segments, which is going to feel like you're lifting your chest up to the ceiling as you roll through the back and rolling into the left side as we start to bend into the left side and then roll forward. Get to that midline, let's repeat it. So let's roll to the right, thinking about those spinal segments, side bend, and roll through the right side, and extending through. Remember, keep thinking about making a big circle with those joints, those little joints of your spine. Rock, roll into that left side. You're not moving anything else. Use that 20% irradiation, that foundation. Roll through the left side, back to the midline. We're going to reverse it. We're going to reverse it. Rotate to the left. Think about those spinal segments. Side bend and roll through the left. And now think about those segments extending and pinching back. Rolling through that back portion of the circle. And now moving through that right side, rolling through, trying to get it to increase as much as we can, keeping those shoulders down, and roll through that right side to the midline. Repeat it one more time. Rotate those spinal segments to the left, side bend, try to make it smooth transitions. In the beginning, when you're learning, it feels really awkward and hard, but that's okay. And extending through the back, rolling through that right side and around the front. Great job. We're going to work on our shoulder blades next. So I'm going to have you put your arms out in front of you and you can make a little bit of a V. I'm going to turn to the side so you could maybe see a little bit better what I'm doing. But I'm going to be talking about moving in a square shape, but I want you to think about trying to move in a smooth circle, okay? Do the best you can. So elbows locked straight. You're going to press your feet into the floor. Take a breath in. As you translate out, as you breathe out, you're going to translate the ribcage down. Pull that belly button and contract everything else in your body. And now we're going to bring your shoulder blades up. You're going to bring them together at the spine. Go down along your spine. You don't want to be arching back though. Keep your spine straight. Don't move anything else. Now bring them out to your sides and then up again. One more time. Bring them into the spine as best you can. Down along your spine without moving anything else, and then out along your sides and up. Now this up position, we're pausing, and now we're going to go down to reverse it. Bring them together at the spine. Don't move anything else. Go up along your spine and out. One more time. Down on the outside. Together along the spine and up. And then out along the side. Good. For our shoulders, we're going to do them one at a time. Let's do our left first. It can be very confusing in the beginning. Just think about your elbow being straight, your thumb and your bicep kind of in line with each other. So as you're moving the arm, so as you're coming up, the thumb and the bicep are going to start to rotate, kind of pointing in front of you. When you get along the top, don't move through any pain if you have pain. There's a natural rotation that will happen, but if you haven't done this in a long time, it's going to feel very awkward. So you can think about the bicep and the thumb are rotating to point in front of you, and then they're going to start rotating toward the back. And you want to keep your torso forward, right? So we're maximizing that shoulder joint motion itself, and we're making a big circle with that shoulder joint capsule. So now that bicep and the thumb are going to start pointing toward the floor, and then pointing behind you, because you're going to keep rotating until that arm is now at that bottom point along your side, and now that would make your pinky pointing forward, and then we reverse it. So just keep thinking about that thumb and bicep just continually rotating and turning, okay? Let's take a nice deep breath in. As you blow out, Translate that rib cage down, pull that belly in. Shoulders to the bra line, make a fist with your other hand. Press your feet to the floor. You can put a yoga block between your knees if that will help. And let's bring that arm up. Thumbs going up to the ceiling. Now it's going to start rotating it along the top. So it's going to start pointing in front of you. Try to keep your chest forward. As you rotate around and through that back side. Keep rotating that arm. So now that thumb should be pointing behind you as you bring your arm along your side. Let's reverse it. So kick that thumb pointing back. Now start rotating the arm so that the thumb's pointing to the floor. And as it's rotating through, it's pointing in front of you, up to the ceiling. That arm is overhead. And now that thumb is going to end pointing forward when you get back to that bottom position. Let's do it one more time. Bring it up. As you get to that top position with your arm, if you have pain here, stop and reverse it. Just circumvent that point. You don't have to follow me exactly. Rotate the arm through and around so that thumb's going to start pointing to the floor. Keep rotating so that as you get that arm along your side, your thumb and your bicep should be trying to point behind you and the pinkies forward. Reverse it. Kick back. Keep that elbow straight, chest forward. Bicep and thumb rolling around, so pointing to the ceiling. And pointing behind you now as your arms overhead. And now that coming along the front. And now they end in that forward pointing position. Other side. Take a nice deep breath in. And blow out. Translate that ribcage down. Pull everything in. Isometrically contract everything else in your body. That 20%. Straighten out your right elbow. Let's bring that arm across and up. As that arm gets to along your ear, the bicep and the thumb are going to start turning to point in front of you. And as you bring that arm behind you, now the thumb and the bicep are going to start pointing to the floor. Chest is forward. They're going to keep rotating. So keep rotating the bicep and the thumb so that as you're getting it along your side, they're going to be pointing behind you. Pinkies forward. Let's reverse it. So kick that thumb and bicep to point back. Up and around, keep the elbow straight. Keep rotating that arm the way it naturally needs to in order to find that full range of motion. Don't move through any pain though. One more time. Up. Thumb is pointing to the ceiling. Thumb and my bicep are starting to rotate in this top position. So now they're going to point in front of me. And as I'm rotating and bringing the arm back behind me, now the thumb and the bicep are going to start pointing to the floor. And now they're going to start pointing behind me as I bring my arm along my side. Let's reverse it. Keep that chest forward, elbow straight, and just do the range of motion that you can. In the beginning, a lot of times people are just here. Really limited motion. That's okay. If this is all you have, that's okay. And over time, we'll work on getting that healthier and that motion better. Okay, moving on to our elbows. We're going to hold the back of our upper arm. So we don't want to be moving the upper arm. We're just going to be moving the forearm. That's all that you want to be doing, creating a nice big circle at the elbow joint. Okay, take a breath in, blow out, translate those ribs down, contract everything else in your body, that 20%. Let's think about bringing the forearm to the outside as you bend the elbow. Rotate it at the top, so now that palm is going to be facing away from you as you straighten out the elbow. Rotate that palm up. Bend the elbow. Rotate around at the top. And now straighten the elbow. Now open up at the bottom. Pause. Let's reverse it. So now rotate that palm towards the floor. Bend the elbow. Rotate around at the top and straighten the elbow. One more time. Rotate, bend, rotate, open. Let's do our wrist on this side. So you want to think about only moving the wrist. If you had something on your forearm, it wouldn't fall off. You could put your back of your hand to your forearm, and that's going to help you. You can put your arm to your side so that you're really trying not to move anything else. In the beginning, the motion is not going to be as good as you want it to be. That's okay. Try not to use your fingers, but if you find yourself starting to move your forearm, then just stop and decrease that range because you really just don't have it, okay? So let's take a deep breath in. As we blow out, translate those ribs down, lower belly in, shoulder blades down, contract everything else in your body. Let's bring the palm down and let's roll it to the outside as we bring it up and around the top, down along the inside. Nice big circle. One more time. Out and up, along the top, down along the inside, pause at the bottom, and we're going to reverse it. So let's bring it to the inside and up, around the top, down to the outside, one more time, in and up, around the top, down along the inside and through the bottom. Okay, other elbow, hold along the back of your upper arm, just moving the forearm. Let's reset our irradiation, take a breath in, blow out, rib cage down, contract everything else, nice strong posture. Forearms going to the outside as we're bending the elbow, rotating at the top, and then straightening the elbow, rotate open so the palm is facing up. One more time, bend the elbow, rotate through at the top, straighten the elbow, rotate open, reverse it. Let's rotate so our palm is facing the ground, bend the elbow, rotate at the top and straighten the elbow. One more, rotate so the palm's going to face the floor, bend the elbow, rotate open at the top, straighten the elbow. Let's do our wrist. So arm along your side, bend the elbow, hold the back of your forearm. You're going to try to control that rotation through there. We're just thinking about moving the palm at the wrist. Take a breath in. Reset your 20% irradiation. Let's bring the palm down, around to the outside and up, along the top, down along the inside, through the bottom, up along the outside, around the top, down along the inside, through the bottom, and we're going to pause, reverse it. So bring it to the inside and up, along the top, down along the outside, through the bottom, one more time, inside and up, around the top, down along the outside, and through the bottom. Great job. To do our hips, what we're going to do is just kind of move to the side of the chair so that we have some space to work off of. If you have a wall to press your hands against, I suggest doing that, or a counter, something to hold on to. I'm going to hold onto the chair. I'm actually going to press into it. I don't want the chair to tip when you're working on it, so be very aware of that. You want to be in a safe space. You can do this with the standing posture with your hands against the wall as well, but depending on the modifications you need, I'm going to show it here. Seated, there is the wall modification in the beginner's morning cars mobility video. So let's begin with the right leg, or whichever leg you're starting with, and let's take a nice deep breath in. As we let it out, translate that rib cage down straight to the floor. Pull that lower abdomen in, shoulders to the brow line, squeeze the back of your hips and thighs, contract everything else in your body. I'm going to push this other arm out to the side here. I'm anchoring myself to the middle of this chair, and I'm going to bring this knee to the up towards my chest. But remember, my spine is straight. I'm not moving anything else. We're going to open up to the side as best we can, and then rotate around and through the back as best we can. It's not ideal in the seated position, but you know what? If you need the modification and you're just learning how to isolate and control this hip joint, then this is fine, okay? Let's one more time, bring it up to the outside, making a nice big circle with that hip. Rotate around through the back without moving our spine. Pause at the bottom. Let's reverse it. Kick back. Bring that thigh up and out. And back to the midline. Okay, let's go to the other side. So you're just going to shift in your chair. You could do it, I think, on the edge of your chair, but you might be too unsteady there. I think, like, I can hold on to the back of the chair a bit. You can also hold on to the inside here. That could be helpful to help you steady. And you can be a little bit forward for that if you need to. That way you just feel like you can control it a little bit more. Let's take a nice deep breath in to work this other side. let that breath out. Translate that rib cage down. So whatever position your spine is in, make sure you maintain it, this neutral position. We're gonna bring that thigh up, open it like a book, rotate around so that ankle's kind of coming up towards the ceiling. Rotate around to the back. Don't move your spine, and then bring it down to the side again. Let's kick back, up and around through that hip. Close the book. Let's repeat it. Bring it up, open, rotate around and through to the midline. Reverse it, kick back. Think about making a nice circle with that whole hip joint as best you can. Great, let's move on to our knees. Let's work the knees in our seated position. And what you can do is hold the thigh to your chest. So we're going to do that by either grabbing our arms around here, but if you don't have the ability to pull your leg in like that, I don't really want you straining out here. What we can do is put something between your thigh and your chest to take up some of that space, and that's going to very easily help you to irradiate better. You could also use a rolled up towel. You could use a Pilates ball, like one of the smaller balls. You could use a pillow. Just something to help you press against. So we're going to grab the back of our thigh. I'm going to interlace my fingers. You could grab your wrist, whatever you need to do. You could use even a strap, a yoga strap. So I'm holding the back of my thigh and I'm pulling that towards my chest as best I can. All right, I'm going to take a nice deep breath in. As I let that breath out, translating that rib cage straight down to the floor. I'm pulling my lower abdomen and I'm sitting nice and tall. Shoulder blades that come to the brow line. I'm pressing my left foot into the floor and I'm contracting the back of both my thighs. Now, let's rotate just the shin. The thigh isn't moving, so turn that shin to the outside. Now you're going to try to straighten that knee as best you can. Okay, now you're going to try to turn the shin to the inside as best you can and bend the knee. Rotate around the bottom, that shin's going out. One more time, and now let's try to straighten out that knee. Rotate to the inside as best you can and bend it. Okay, when you get to that midline, let's reverse it. So rotate the shin to the inside, straighten out your knee, rotate to the outside, bend your knee. One more time, rotate in, straighten, rotate out, and bend. Okay, let's move on to the other side. So put whatever you're using between your thigh and your chest if you need to. Grab underneath your thigh for support. Okay, let's take a breath in. Blow out. Translate that rib cage down. Pull that belly button in. Shoulder blades to the brow line. Squeeze the back of your thighs. Press your right foot into the floor. Contract your arms. Right, 20% full through the radiation throughout your body. Rotate that shin to the outside. Straighten. Rotate to the inside as best you can without moving anything else. And then we're going to bend the knee. Rotate to the outside. Straighten. Rotate to the inside and bend. Okay, when we get to the bottom, midline, we're going to pause. Let's rotate in. Straighten. Rotate out and bend. One more time, rotate in, straighten, rotate out, and bend. Okay, let's move on to our ankles. Let's work our ankles, and I want you to scooch to the edge of the chair, and if you have one, put a yoga block between your knees. This is going to help us from moving our thighs. We're going to work our right ankle first. So just put that leg out in front of you so that the heel is on the ground, and now that's going to give us some space to work the ankle and move the foot. All right, let's take a nice deep breath in. As you blow out, think about translating those ribs down to the floor, pull that lower abdomen in, contract everything else in your body, squeeze the yoga block to help you. Okay, and let's now press that foot down to the floor. We're going to rotate it out to the side and then up along the top, down along the inside, through the bottom, and repeat it one more time. Rock out and up, along the top, down and in. through the bottom, and at the bottom we're going to pause, rotate to the inside and up, around the top, down through the outside. One more time, rotate in and up, around the top, down through the outside. Let's do the left leg. Put that left knee out in front of you. Get yourself set up so you're comfortable. Okay, let's take a breath in. As you blow out, anchor that breath in your abdomen by translating those ribs down, pulling that belly button in. Sit tall in that seat. Pull the shoulder blades down to the bra line. Contract everything else in your body. Press that right foot into the floor. Now let's press the foot down to the floor. Roll it to the outside and up. Around that top position. Squeeze that yoga block so you don't get any leg movement. Down along the inside. Around the bottom. One more time. Out and up along the outside. Around the top. Down along the inside. Through the bottom. We're going to pause at the midline. Let's bring it to the inside and up. Around the top. Down along the outside. One more time. Inside and up. Around the top. Down and out. To the bottom. Great job. Let's move on to our toes. Now let's work our toes. So if you need to, you can use your hand to create pressure on one of the sides that you're working, and you can do it one side at a time if you need to. So if we're going to break this up, press the small toes down on the left side. Take a nice deep breath in. As you blow out, translate those ribs down. Pull your abdomen in. Contract everything else in your body. And let's lift the big toe for 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep your 20% irradiation. Switch your hands so you're holding the big toe down. Let's lift the small toes for 1, 2, 3, 4. Other side, you can rest. Other side, you can rest and reset. Breathe in as you blow out. Translate the rib cage down. Contract everything else in your body. Hold the small toes down. And let's lift the big toe for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the small toe down. Let's lift the big toes. Hold the big toe down and let's lift the small toes. Keep that irradiation. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great job.